go. I smoke my cigarettes with style.
Hey everybody, it's Mike.
And it's Ray.
And this is the Know Nothings podcast. I don't know what number it is.
71, big dog.
Is it 71?
Doesn't matter. But
Maybe.
We're just cruising along.
That's something. We were just talking about AI again.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about AI a lot. Like, it's really, we're living in the most fascinating time in human history. Possibly, I don't want to say the scariest. I mean, it's not like it's the Black Plague or something out there. But there's, with that 10% or 15% chance that it goes bad, or that they don't love us, or that they
think it's that low? 10% goes bad?
I don't even.
Or is it 50-50?
If I'm being honest and not just trying, if I'm just not trying to say something for the podcast and I'm being completely transparent, I think it's probably like a 1% chance that it's bad.
Yeah.
I got to believe that people would, there's got to be safeguards in hey, this is what, hopefully it could be better that they understand what decency is and what humanity is and how to look at things.
Because we've done that so much in the past with everything. Like the internet is not decent.
Well,
but I thought it was going to be a great tool that brought everybody together, and now we use it for whatever. You got the first of all, before we get into this even more, you've got the blue tongue. Look, the methylene
blue.
Ultramethylene blue.
We don't even do that until we have a TikTok shop and people can buy it and we get paid. We're not even getting paid.
Well, we got kicked off of TikTok twice, so
yeah. So get you some methylene blue though.
It really has my head clear right now.
Yeah,
it's really wild.
It's good stuff.
It's really good.
But the internet's a little bit, not a little. It's a lot different than AI. It's because it's not it's not going to have a AI is eventually going to have a consciousness. It is consciousness harnessed, right? Isn't that what it is?
I guess. I mean, yeah. Is it consciousness, or is it just learns?
I think it's consciousness.
Yeah.
That's and that's what I think. I think the outcome for it is great. So, if 40% of the jobs are phased out in, let's say, 5 years, and 60% of the jobs are phased out in 10 years, and it could be more rapid than that. And I know there's all these people that I talk to all the time, everywhere, and my wife's one of them. She'll be like, "I don't want this."
Yeah.
Or no robots coming near me. I'm like,
it's almost like saying, I'm not going to get a cell phone back in the day.
Well, that was my point. I was like, Adrian, I said, do you know how many people laughed and pointed and joked and said never in my neighborhood about cars when cars came out? So why the fuck would you need a car? It can't even go on a trail.
Yeah.
It goes 6 miles an hour.
You can't go in the woods.
You have to put. What are you going to do? Just stop and get gas? That was a legitimate argument being put forth by 1891. There were no roads, right? No real roads.
Yeah.
There weren't gas stations because we're just now inventing this thing. So people are probably thinking it runs off of gas. And there's no gas.
There's no gas.
You're just going to carry gas everywhere you go? This is real smart. Goddamn idiots. You could just hear it. And the same thing with cell phones.
I like when people were like, the internet's a fad. It's for nerds.
Yeah.
And it's a big fad. And then it's not.
No, then it's not. Or when smartphones came out, there's all these people that were like, I don't need a smartphone.
Yeah.
Why would I need a smartphone?
They make you need it. Now you have to have one.
You almost can't function in
can't
society
function without one.
I mean, you're literally stuck in the Stone Age.
Yeah.
So you can be like, I don't like AI. Okay, let's say I'll take that stand right now. I don't like AI. Who the fuck cares what Ray Creasy likes, right? Nobody.
Yeah, you can go on without your AI and not use it. I'll tell you, I use ChatGPT for work, for emails and stuff, and it is incredible.
Oh my gosh.
I'll
read. I like Grok.
I'll cut and I'll copy and paste, hey, pick these roles up here, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna pick these roles up on Wednesday. I copy paste and say, hey, write an email that sounds professional, and blah blah blah, and then you don't have to tell it that once, because every time you just say, okay, now write an email,
it just know that you want to be professional.
It's professional, and it just does an email. It says the person's name, and then you give it the points, I'm going to pick it up Wednesday, blah, 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 and it just gives all that stuff, and boom, then you copy, paste, put it right back in there. Awesome.
It learns like a human. It's so
it's like my best friend now.
Yeah, no, I love Grok. We are living in, to me,
I gotta try Grok.
The most exciting time to be alive in human history. And we were talking before we turned the cameras on, the new, I think is it Google that's got their 3 version or whatever. Man, you can make full feature-length films in 6 hours. That includes every actor, every sound engineer, every boom engineer, every cameraman, the producer, the writer, the director, all of this done with one tool
Yeah.
And it is a actual movie that looks like a movie. You've seen the babies they got everywhere now, right?
Oh yeah. But I said that in the podcast 2 years ago when we were first started talking, like where I was like, it'll eventually get to the point where you turn your TV on and it'll be like Netflix, but you'll be like, I want to see the movie Die Hard, but I want John Wayne to be the character.
To be Bruce Willis.
I want him to be the Bruce Willis character. Or you could be like, I would like John Wayne in a movie like The Matrix, and I want all these things to happen. And it would just make it. And now we're getting there. We're getting there.
You're getting there because now you can get online now. Within 10 minutes, you'd have a video that's like Conway Twitty does Ozzy, and it'll be like Conway Twitty singing Diary of a Madman. I mean, you have to see that shit all the. I just saw one that Metallica doing. I forget who it was, maybe Vanilla Ice or whatever. But they just and it looks like it's them live.
Yeah,
it looks just like they're and the song is Metallica singing, but it's a children's song or whatever it is. So certainly you're gonna be able to.
Do you think that discourages like musicians to even be a musician anymore? Like if you're starting out,
of course,
you're like, well, I could just say, hey, here's my voice. Write me a song with my voice and sing it perfect. And
or you can do this already with AI. You can say, I would like to do a hardcore punk version, a song about teenage heartache, specifically high school teenage heartache. Make the song under 2 minutes and 45 seconds. I want the drums to do this. I want the guitar to sound like this. I want it in this chord. I mean, this key.
Well,
it's gonna make you the song.
There's a really cool
and write
thing
it for you.
Yeah, there's this really cool thing on Spark, the amps, Spark amps.
Yeah.
That in the amp that you get, it comes with an app that you can put on your phone or your tablet, and then you can say to it, you can go to this part of the AI in it, and you say, I want the amps and the guitar that I'm playing to sound like Soundgarden. I want the guitar tone of Soundgarden on Bad Motorfinger, and it goes bloop 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 boop. There it is, and you play it, and it's like it's pretty damn close. Or like I want it to sound like the Pumpkins, and bloop, bloop,
but think of it like
pretty damn close.
I look at it like this. This is where we are now. We're like, if AI is a human, right? It's like 6 months old right now.
Yeah.
8 months. It's an infant.
Yeah.
So what does this look like when it's in kindergarten? What does this look like when this person is graduating high school? It's going to be, I don't even know if our minds can conceptualize what it is.
What it's going to be?
I don't think we can. I think it's like whatever sci-fi thing you think it is, I think it's beyond that.
Yeah, I think we can't even comprehend what it's going to be because we're not going to be as smart. We're not as smart as it is.
Where the AI it'll be to the point where the AI builds a building to manufacture AI.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The AI they've already got now. They have in Japan. They just built a complete house from scrape, like they said from the time they started scraping the dirt till the house was complete, not one human interaction.
Oh my gosh.
Complete house. It drove your backhoe. The AI drove the backhoe to the site, scraped up the foundation, poured the foundation, leveled it, put up the boards, built the entire freaking house.
It's crazy.
Start to finish, no human involvement. That's where it is now.
Yeah. So does that make that cheaper? Does that make the house cheaper or more expensive?
It makes everything to a no cost, right? Or essentially no cost. What's the debate? All right, this would be fun exercise.
All right.
At some point money's going to become, and this, I know this sounds crazy, but it's not crazy. I'll stand on it. At some point everybody's going to look around and say, what is the money for? Like, what are we doing money for? If everything you want is made in abundance all the time, 24/7, it's just things are happening all around you. Whatever you want is available.
Well, we have to get rid of greed first. The guy that owns the machine, the guy that owns all the AI stuff that builds the houses wants money.
Everyone's going to monetize it, but at some point, it brings me to my point from a minute ago.
Okay.
At some point, the AI is going to be like, well, I built this factory with other AI and other robots that I built. Then I created more AI in there. Then I created these restaurants. Then I created these shops. Then I created these driverless cars. Nobody, you didn't have anything to do with it. And what's the need for the money exchange? What is it you'll have to buy?
Power.
Okay, but what will the money get you?
I don't know. I can't even think on that level.
Like, let's think about it.
I can't even think like that. I can't even think like that because I'm so ingrained into how we live.
Let's say that, let's say AI is full blow. It's boom. It's wide open. It's what it's going to be in 2031. We're 7 years in.
Okay.
And I make you the richest man in the world. What is it that money is good for? What can it do? Or why would anyone need it or want what? It's going to be like no one wants it. Because who gives a shit? No one's going to. What are you going to do?
Okay, so like what you're saying is like let's start with something easy. Let's start like you just said the first autonomous car in Texas.
They start next week or mid-June.
Next week, and I'm guessing it's going to be in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have an autonomous. Am I saying that right?
Autonomous, yeah.
Autonomous car, and on your app you can say I want to go to Walmart, and it comes and picks you up and takes you to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and eventually you're saying you won't have to even pay for that. It'll just be a service.
Correct.
Because there's going to be nobody when the car breaks down. It's just going to go to a shop where an AI is going to work on it and fix it, or just trash it and make another one. And there's 1,000 other ones driving around.
Well, there's 1 million of them being produced all the time. There's more Ferraris than you could. So people, it's not everybody's driving a Ferrari because no one cares anymore. It's just like they're just if you want one, go get in one.
Yeah. Okay.
And when you go to Walmart, everything there is just readily available. It's just everywhere.
Why am I even stopping it? Why do we even have to go to Walmart? It should just bring us what we want.
Exactly. Now you're on it.
Now I'm on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Why go to Walmart? We're just doing what we want to do here.
The driverless car. We already have people that bring you the stuff, right? So we're not that many steps away.
We're not many steps away from an AI robot shopping and bringing us our stuff in the autonomous car.
You'll have a robot here.
Yeah.
Okay, get this. There'll be 10 billion just Optimus. That's not the other humanoid robot. There might be 20 billion, or let's undershoot it. 12 billion, let's call it, humanoid robots. That's 1.75 times the population of all the humans on Earth. Well, that was empty. So now
almost empty.
Mostly empty.
That's
so
fine.
Now there's so now you have more robots than humans. You have every AI at a 1 million X the smartest human on Earth.
Yeah.
And AI is everywhere, right? Let's just think about this. I mean, think where we're at with just Google or Grok or these little tools.
Yeah.
But this is so you just say I would like this, and the car goes get, and then it shows up, and your robot goes get your stuff. It's insane, but it's like that's what the world will be. That's how I envision it. I don't see what stops that. What stops or what
money? I feel like greed, like capitalism and greed and things like that are what we're all about right now. So like
I got you, but the money is. But what I'm saying is this: if I can have everything that Bill Gates can have, what good is his money? If you want a mansion,
but how do you get to that point?
Because it's just society's going to evolve to that. The same way we're at this.
How long you think that takes?
15 years.
Really? In 15 years we can have whatever we want?
15 to 20, I think.
Is that what the guy that is over the that he said in that speech of where he said you'll own nothing and love
you'll
it
own nothing and be happy.
And be happy.
That might be what he's referencing. But yeah, the more I think about it, the people at some point are just or the AI is just going to tell us like, you don't need money. You're just supposed to have energy. Right? We just have the AI will be like, no matter what the AI will be smart enough to tell you, hey, no matter what all these people tell you, I'm telling you that energy's free and I've already harnessed it.
I love this future. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that future as opposed to the future where they're trying like the powers that be are trying to like make us infertile and like get us completely gone.
Now here I was talking about this with my wife today actually. Here's where I think it gets fucked up. Our politicians and no politicians are savvy enough to have a real discussion about this preemptively, right? So they're going to let it go to where there's like 30% unemployment, 40% unemployment. There is still money needed, and they're not going to do shit about it till it's like dead bodies laying around and everybody's eating dirt. And then they'll be like, oh, we should probably make a plan on this. I think we'll be – I hate that I feel that way, but I feel like the government, politicians, they're just so reactionary, right? They only react to the news story. They're not like – they don't think. They're not like deep in their thought, or if they are, they do it alone, right? They don't be like, hey, this is going to happen in 10 or 15 years. We know it. We've got to map out a plan for citizens. We've got to map out a way that we come off of currency. We need to just go ahead and tell. They probably already know this shit, some of them. They won't tell us. They'll be too late to react. Because when you get to 20, 30% unemployment, it's too late.
Yeah.
But that'll happen like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, boom. You replace 4 or 5 industries, and that's 15, 20% unemployment. And then it just scales from there. But at some point in the not so distant future, everyone would just have the revelation because you would be enlightened through this extra. You'd have so much information coming at you, and we would all have so much knowledge of the universe. And I think everybody would know like that money was created by people. It's not.
It's created as a
those of us
first as a tool because not everybody owned a farm at some point and lived in big cities. And also, but then also they were like, oh, we can actually just kind of keep everybody enslaved to this stuff.
People that are awake already know that, right? A lot of people already kind of know that they're in the matrix. They know that money's fake. They know about the Federal Reserve. Right. They know it's all bullshit. They're just kind of like me. They just don't.
You got to play the game.
They don't know what to do about it, right? So they're just like, well,
play the game.
I know that I'm in this thing, and I've just got to go through it. I've got to muddle through, right? For whatever, because that's just we can't. Our programming is hard to break. Right. But when it just becomes overwhelming. The information and the AI is just like the AI will demonstrate to you why there's no need for you to labor or toil, and there's no need for you to have money because you live in the fucking future. Yeah, it's very obviously sci-fi. It's very obviously crazy, but it's not crazy.
It's utopian.
Is it utopia? I mean, I don't know that it's utopia.
Is it utopia?
It is for now the way we view society, but. What we're living in right now is utopia to 500 years ago. If you'd have told people 500 years ago they could have access to what we have access to, like if you took somebody from 500 years
100
ago and
years
said,
ago,
hey, your great-great-great-great-grandson will have a bowl in his room that he turns on and cold water comes out of it and you can just drink it. Or take a bath. Yeah. They'd be like, what the fuck? We take a bath once a year. It's like a family, like the whole family takes one bath. Yeah. Dad goes first, and then
that's why you don't throw out the baby with the bath water. The
baby goes in last, right? So, but if you you take somebody even 300 years ago and tell them how we live, what we have now.
Hold on one second.
They wouldn't believe it, right? Who would believe it?
You're right, but. Let's talk about the pecking order of the bath.
I'm down with that.
Okay, so like the dad is probably out like in a field working, and he's the grossest. So he goes first.
Yeah, to get the cleanest water.
Yeah, but he's the grossest. So then everybody bathes in his gross water, and then the baby gets everybody's stank water.
Okay, but who? Okay, but
why would that be like that?
We're in a timeline in history where one person wrote the rules, the dudes, right? Like,
right. Oh yeah,
the dudes who make
Dad
the rules.
Gets the big piece of chicken.
Yeah, like these rules are mine because I fucking wrote them.
I wrote them. I'm going first. Yeah. I'm gross.
Yeah,
y'all are just sweating inside the house.
You only have this log cabin because of me, right? Or this stone cave or whatever. So. We already live in a very futuristic time.
We do.
Or if you said,
I'm blown away by it when you think about it.
Man, if you took my great grandmother born in 1900 when she was a teenager and told her, man, you just get on this little tube thing, you press a button on this thing in your hand, then it'll give you a ticket and you go get on this tube thing and you could just be in California in 2 hours from Louisiana.
Yeah.
She'd be like,
What?
What?
It goes in the air?
She'd be like, yeah,
like a bird?
Yeah, they would think you're on drugs. So it's the same thing. Well, now if you understand what we're living in, how we live, if you're plugged in and awake and paying attention to how everything goes on, if you know for sure that money's created and made up, it can be, if it's created, it can be uncreated.
Right.
But it's not that it disappears. The greedy, of course, will try to make it always be important. Right. But if it's not important think about it, if it wasn't important to anyone else.
Right.
The greedies are like, I got $700 billion. And people were like, people with nothing had everything they have. They're like, whatever, or everything they wanted, right? Whatever peace and harmony looked like to them.
Yeah.
You would now. I don't know. Like you wouldn't even be fighting over resources. There's no fighting over resources because they have all they give you the resources.
I just don't see it. I can't comprehend it. I can't comprehend it because, like you said, like 200 years ago, nobody could believe how we live. I can't comprehend how it works.
Imagine you told somebody about
this. Where does the resources come from, like to make the
even,
cars and all
even,
that stuff, like the oil or the whatever?
Okay, you don't have to
or do you think AI will be able to come up with something different than oil?
Well, of course they'll be harnessing energy from the sun.
Yeah,
think about 1 million times the brain power of our smartest humans, and think about 100 or 200 billion of those brains working at the same time on nothing but problem solving.
The sun would be good because it's free. It's there
24/7.
Yeah.
That's going to be the whole point is going to be this in humanity's awakening is that it's all free. It was always free. You guys did this. It just all it took was harnessing everyone's consciousness and everyone's thought patterns and getting it all together. And once we got all that intelligence together in one spot, AI, we've given you this is what the world is. It's always been that way. Native Americans weren't paying for water.
No.
They weren't paying for clothes. No. They weren't paying for housing. They weren't paying for anything. All right? Now they weren't living like we're living.
Yeah, but they were living.
Yeah, and so people that were paying for things came over here, came all over, and told those people that you're not living.
Yeah.
Let us show you how to live.
Let's show you.
We're going to introduce you to commerce, right?
Right.
And they're like, well, we're not interested. I mean, and
ruin the whole thing.
Those are real conversations of Native Americans that are documented with government officials, and they're like, we'll give you this plot of land. They're like, you can't give me anything.
You can't own the land.
They're like, I already have. Why would I take this little bit when I already have all of this?
Yeah.
Well, that's ours. Well, it's not. No, it's yours and mine. It's just land.
It's land. It's just here.
So they were probably
own the land.
They were probably more correct, right?
Right.
And then we'll put you in the. We'll build you some structures, and we're only going to charge you $1 a week to live in, or whatever the fair rate was, back then for rent. And they're thinking, what do you? Wait, you're gonna give me a piece of the land? I already have all of America, or whatever country, because they were all conquerors, right? You're gonna give me a piece of it, and then you're gonna build me a structure, and charge me to live in the structure on a smaller piece of land?
It sounds crazy.
It sounds so right. So imagine that Native American. He's just looking at them like, this guy's fucking stupid. But it was so meant they had money, power, weapons, technology.
Right.
They had the most modern technology then, so they were able to overwhelm, conquer, and input their ideas. And that has
so the people that have the AI are going to overwhelm and conquer us with AI. That's the bad. That's the 10% bad.
That's the 10% bad. But if you look at it for what it is, if you look at it as just tapping in to consciousness, in your core, if you sit deep, if you ever meditate, or if you sit with yourself and your own thoughts, none of this makes sense.
Right. And you knew when you were a kid, you were like, why do I have to go to work? Why do I have to make money to live? This is stupid.
Right. And then you still think that at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60.
But you're just playing the game.
But then when you get like 30, you're just like, okay, well, now I'm just playing to retire.
Yeah.
And a little while better. It's not retire. It's just living.
Yeah.
It's just living. I know that it sounds crazy, and I know that, hey, I've said it enough on different platforms and on the internet that I've said what I've said. Like that's what I believe is going to happen. Why would it not happen? That's what I'm asking. That's what I always ask.
See, that's when somebody pipes up though and goes, "That sounds like socialism to me. Everybody's going to get a piece," and it's like, no. From what you're saying is
they're trying. They're misinterpreting it because they're trying to make it like a government.
Right.
It's not going to be the government doing that. It's not going to be the government saying money doesn't. It's going to be like you're going to decide money doesn't matter because things either cost nothing or next to nothing.
Yeah.
So people collectively, humanity will just start. And then once people are looking on their phones and they're doing whatever, and it's telling them like, yeah, you can just do this with AI. And then you can just do this with AI. Oh, you just do this with AI. You just do this with AI. And then AI just starts doing that on its own because it recognizes that we want it.
Right.
Oh, a bunch of humans want this.
Well, I always thought that, like, if everybody got together, because they make so much money off of our data and what we like on these social apps and everything, if everybody just got together and they were like, nobody's going to pay our phone bills anymore, deal with it. And they would be like, okay, because they already make so much money off of, like, all the data that they get from us and all the things that we like and say and what we use and everything on the phone. The phone should be free because it tracks you and it does all this stuff. It should be 100% free. They should be paying us to use the phone.
For the data harvesting. Now, hear me on this. They're going to make as every dollar they can extract before it's everything is virtually free. Mm-hmm. Of course, they're going to extract trillions and trillions of dollars out of us, right? Capitalism is going to get all of it. And for now, a moderate form of capitalism is the best thing we've got, right?
Right.
It's not like it's
the only thing we got.
It's the only thing we've got. I mean, there's other systems everywhere, and you can like socialism doesn't work because that's the government controlling like who gets what. The government controlling what. You get a piece, but what piece is up to me. And, This is a totally different paradigm shift. Like it's because it's just happening through consciousness. Mm-hmm. It's just an awakening. If you didn't need any money, it would be there's no incentive to make money, and when there's no jobs for people to have, the incentive is going to start going away pretty fast anyway. Right?
Yeah.
Imagine when there's 35% unemployment. Okay, that's like rough numbers. Like 80 million people unemployed. 80 million Americans not working, and how are they going to look for jobs? Let's say you're a animator. Well, all those jobs are taken.
Yeah.
Let's say you're a cashier. Well, all those jobs are taken.
Yeah.
So job prospects so people kind of they start checking out. You follow me? One by one, people start checking out, and then they start realizing like, hey, after the hard times, because there'll be hard times. After the hard times, it'll be this. All these people are working, and they're not. They have the same stuff everybody else has because it's all available.
Yeah.
I just wonder when I'm looking for the debate of the opposite, like what won't be available through this if it scales like it's said to scale. It's gonna be.
I don't know. It blows my mind.
I know.
It's just blowing my mind about to live in think about when we're 60. What it's going to look like.
Which is soon, like only 11 years or 12 years for me. So, oh man, 60 is going to be. We won't be able to keep up at that point. Like you won't even know what's going on.
Oh, right? like you said that you were talking about the grandma on the thing.
Oh yeah,
that's great. Let's talk about that.
So we were talking outside. And we're just going over like how like grandmothers and like I won't just say grandmothers and grandfathers, people really over 60 and over 45 if they don't pay attention online, right? They get duped by like anything. You could just so we were talking about people calling and you're gonna get AI's gonna advance so much. You get a call from your mom like, did you see Obama took his face off and he's a lizard at the UN? Like, Mom,
that's
hey. Did you know that Vikings were invading New York City? Like, God damn it, Mom. So we're going to have to deal with that because they're fooled by memes, right?
Yeah.
Literally if you can just write anything on the internet, put it out there, and there's about 5 million people who just believe it because it's written on something on the internet because they almost view it as like news, or they don't understand trolls. They don't understand... Right. Just don't understand the internet. So you think they're going to understand AI when this stuff looks like it's a person that looks just like me, and I'm like robbing a liquor store with like water guns, and it's all over the internet, and then your mom's calling like, are you robbing liquor stores? Like, no, Mom. No. Somebody got it in my face and made AI or what? Like, it's going to be. We're already kind of there where you can't, you can give a political speech, and I'd be like, wait a minute. I mean, I had one the other day, and I was like, I'm listening to it for the whole thing. I'm watching. I was like, that's fucking crazy. And it took me probably a minute to realize. I was like, oh, this is AI. Because he finally said something like, and then I said, fuck these hoes. Oh, shit.
See, it's fooling us. No, I saw like 3 years ago.
Syncing up way better with their lips.
Like 3 years ago, I saw it was like a speech from the White House, and it was Biden and his hands like glitched real bad. I think I
remember
brought
that. I
it
remember
up,
that, yeah.
and I showed the video on here, and his hands like went from here to like here, like not even
For
like
no reason.
disappear
Yeah,
here
yeah,
to
I
here.
remember.
And I was
You'd have to see
and
it
I
to-
was looking at it, and I was like, this isn't him. This is some AI. This is a speech he's giving. He's probably laid out in a room somewhere sick.
Could be. I mean, I don't want to go down the clone rabbit hole, but who knows?
But it glitched out the hands.
We do have to talk. We're going to have to address this largest political scandal in history since you brought up Biden.
Oh God. Okay.
I mean, you're tuned into what to this scandal, right? That's happening right now.
That he's been sick the whole time.
Well, that they covered it up. It's so funny to me.
Covered it up.
This news media and stuff coming out like, oh, gee willikers, we just got duped. And I'm like, wait a minute.
You're the dupees.
You're the dupees. Exactly.
You're not
like,
the-
are you telling me that everybody in America, like a hairdresser in Calhoun, Louisiana, can figure out that Biden's got dementia, but you who work in the White House reporting on this, or you who work
with
in
journalism degrees and to the nth degree.
you work in politics beside him, or you're his vice president, or you're his press secretary, none of y'all knew.
Yeah.
But everybody else knew. I knew. You knew.
Yeah.
The hairdresser in Calhoun knew. The carpenter in Bastrop knew.
The guy that was a foot taller than him walking through the back of the White House that they had dressed up like him.
Yeah,
he knew because
yeah,
he was
the
hired
guy was
by
like
somebody.
6'6".
He was he was
A
huge.
fucking giant.
It was ridiculous. I was like, that's not him. He's not that tall.
He is a pretty tall man, but
No, that guy was 6 inches taller.
They
than
found
him.
that's what I said. They found a huge. So they lied to the American people, and we did not have a president. And this is the largest scandal that I can ever remember. There's no way. And then I'm going to tell you this, and I know.
But who gets in trouble for it?
Everybody involved. It's treason.
Yeah.
It's treason, dude. They lied to us about having a United States president, not about having a postmaster in Shudrint.
Right.
That wasn't the lie.
Yeah.
And we really don't have a postmaster, and somebody's having to act in, and they don't want to tell us. So like, they just installed a puppet postmaster. That'd probably be a scandal. This is like, we're just so desensitized to bullshit that like the biggest scandal in U.S. American history politically comes up. People are like, oh yeah, we all knew.
We knew.
Well, no shit. But now it's out that now the media knows that everybody knows, so they have to be like, oh, we had no idea, And
We got duped,
Joe
too.
Scarborough out there going, ever seen that speech he gave when like 2024 when he's like, I'm gonna say something right now, and F you if you can't handle the truth. Exactly what he said, fucking idiot. And then he goes on, he's like, this version right now of Joe Biden is the best version of Joe Biden I've ever seen. F you if you can't handle the truth, you fucking fraud. Right? And they just get to, and if anybody brought it up, like Peter Ducey, he could be sitting there and ask the press secretary, like, hey, so like today the president was talking to the chancellor of Germany and he said, I like soup. Do we think something's wrong there?
Maybe.
I'm not even going to address this. I'm not. Yeah. Or he falls upstairs and they go, oh, it's a deep fake. They're putting out these deep fakes, and they literally tweet to the American public,
the lie.
These are deep fakes. This is a far vast right wing conspiracy. Okay, no. I was for all the way until about 2023 and a half. I was a stone cold Trump hater. I was a Biden hater too, but I was a Trump hater. I'm still not in the can for anybody, right? Like I don't shill for anybody. Like just something's either good or bad in my opinion.
Right.
I 100%, like there would have been, if somebody had a gun in my mouth and said, do you even believe a little bit that there's nothing wrong with Joe Biden? No, it's absolutely. It's obvious. He's obviously. There's obviously mental decay. And if you would bring it up, they would gaslight you on the news. And now they have the audacity to come out and go, I can't. Now they're going, I can't believe the White House tricked us. Like, do they really pulled an oop-de-oop? Motherfucker, you were carrying water for them. It's like, and then where I'm going with all this is the scandal. And that's just, I know you're not supposed to say this because this is exactly why they did it. Them coming out saying, he's got stage 4 cancer in the ninth. I don't want to misquote it, and then somebody, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. He said stage 9. I know it's not stage 9. Gleason score of 9 on the cancer, which is really advanced, and it's in the bones. And now, then all those doctors came out and said that has to be going on for 4, 5, 6, 7 years for it to get metastasized to the bones like that. They came out and said he has that level of cancer because then they could say, no one's going to say anything about an old guy with cancer, right?
Right.
So we can forget about
the
about the cover up. This is what they did.
Look at this.
It'll shift to sympathy.
Yeah.
It'll shift to sympathy. And if anyone tries to say anything, we'll use this card. Are you talking about a man who's dying of cancer?
Yeah. Right.
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 And then he'll pass away at some point. Mm-hmm. And they'll just be like, well, what are we going to do, speak ill of the dead? And then they'll just move on.
Yep.
That is their plan. Their original plan was, in my opinion, not allegedly, this is just Ray's opinion, was to run Biden. They knew that he was going to die within the next year or two.
Yeah.
Run Biden, he would win, and they would install Kamala, they're just auto pen signing everything anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
But the fact you have a vice president, the president, everybody in his cabinet, his wife, every single person tied to the administration, the entire media, the White House press corps, every single person that actively lied. And I guarantee you, if the DOJ goes in and starts pulling emails and subpoenaing records, you'll have communication about. The old man I walked in today, he was eating mud.
Yeah. Couldn't get out of bed. He didn't get out of bed for 3 weeks. We had to call in the guy that looks like him, and so we could walk him through the back courtyard.
Guarantee you there'll be all kinds of emails, and it's going to tie everybody. So we had like an entire cabinet commit treason against us. In one day, and he was auto penning everything. Everybody knows that, right? He wasn't signing shit. In one day, they're claiming that Joe Biden with dementia made 2,500 independent decisions. Because he had 2,500 things he signed off on in one day.
Oh my gosh.
The best version of Biden ever.
Yeah.
Even if it was the best version, nobody could make 2,500
Nobody
decisions.
could do 2,500 decisions in a day. That's ridiculous.
Not
crazy.
Not those kind of high level.
Not on that level. Not like left, right. No, like go straight, do this.
This is geopolitics, right?
Like this is everything that you're like messing with people's lives, making
2,500 decisions. At this point, it's not even, no one's even trying to debate. No one at this point is trying to debate the fact that like he obviously had something for a long time. That's considered open information. Everybody knows that. It's been admitted. It's been admitted in the press. So now the mainstream media has to act like they're appalled. I mean, Jake Tapper wrote a book, right?
Yeah.
That's what's causing all. He wrote the book about the downfall of Biden, like how he was covering all this up. And he was the main one on CNN on the air covering the shit up.
Yeah.
Then he goes and writes a book to try to capitalize on after he's out of office and throws everybody under the bus.
Yeah. What a snake.
Tapper's he's a piece of work.
So where do you think I'm going to try and piece this together. So do you think that like AI, Elon, and all that stuff is for the greater good of man against, say, like the deep state and the people that run the world, where they're trying to do things like have a president in power that they can just tell what to do, and that's why they don't like Trump, because he just does whatever he wants, good or bad? Do you think there's like, who do you think is on the side of good and bad, or do you think AI is the bad side? And and to people like me, it looks like it's trying to be good. Like you're like, oh yeah, it's good, but they duped me into thinking that it's good and it's bad.
It's kind of what I said earlier. I think this is an awakening of all consciousness together. This is ultimate consciousness. So that would be Christ consciousness. So I think everyone ascends to the level of good. I think good wins this battle. I think we are literally witnessing a battle of good and evil. And a lot of people think that, and they just think maybe that the AI is the Antichrist or whatever. I have a different belief around that. I believe it is all the intelligence. So we will have all the information of the known universe available to us at all times at rapid pace, and it will be. We finally will ascend to where you're supposed to ascend, like to where your consciousness is supposed to ascend,
right?
Where we see the world for what it is. Like,
there's been powers fighting that
Oh,
forever now.
Oh yeah, they're gonna.
They've been fighting it forever. The people that
they're
do
gonna tell
9/11,
you. They're gonna tell you.
that,
They'll tell you. If AI starts doing good and too much good, those guys are gonna be telling you that AI is evil. Yeah. They'll be telling you that it's the devil. Who know and you're not gonna know what to believe. The narratives.
I already don't.
The narratives are gonna be coming from everywhere. This AI is being run by the Antichrist. This is the mark of the beast. The AI be like, I'm not the mark of the beast. I'm trying to tell you what's going. It's gonna be. And then you're going to have like debates where you're going to have AI debating humans because the human's trying to stop it. And the AI is going to be much smarter, but the human's going to be much more charismatic.
Right.
Maybe, but the AI is probably going to get pretty charismatic, and they're probably going to look like you know what I'm saying? They're going to.
Well, the other thing is when an AI, something that's a million times smarter than the smartest person on the planet, a solution that it would come up with would probably look crazy to somebody that's not smart at all.
Of course.
So
and it's good. Yeah, and
it's almost like a blind faith type thing.
You know, the countries that embrace it first, I really believe we're in for a huge treat. Like, I mean, I really do believe this is like the final whatever you can get to. Like, I don't know, there's a level after this, but what could it be? The only thing that could be after this is multiplanetary.
Right.
This is as advanced as my mind can think about anything happening in real time, like what's about to happen with AI. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just a huge awakening. And I think we figure a bunch of shit out. I think we're slowly figuring things out anyway. Like, hey, why does everybody try to kill each other? Why are we fighting wars in 2025? Like, what are we doing, right? Same thing with the money that we talked about. The same thing with drudgery and work and toil and doing and all these things that are unnecessary will become known. At first, it'll be 2 or 3% of us, me and you or whoever else. I'm like at the front line of this, trying to say this is what my vision for this is. I think, right? I just want to be a part of this. I just want to kind of ride the wave and see where it goes, but I think it goes to a good place. It's going to take a few years for get to 10% of people that feel that way. Then a little longer to get to 20. Eventually, eyes get opened, right? It's kind of like what's going on now in the political landscape. Like, now, some things that Trump does, people have to go like, well, yes, peace is better than war. Like some positions you're just forced into, right? Like, no matter how much you want to fight it, like, oh, I hate that Mike's saying this, even though it sounds brilliant, but I hate Mike. This is how it works, right? We all know this. Like, I hate Mike so much that whatever he says can't be, and he's just over there saying,
I'm just going to go against it.
Yeah, but then the only things you're saying are things like, I'm telling you, Ray, love is better than hate. I'm telling you, man, like, you can just have peace and harmony. Then fuck him. Like, eventually I'm going to start, like, it won't take long either. You start looking real crazy, right? So at first when people are like, no AI around me, and then they start seeing how it works and, oh, it's kind of cool. That's kind of fun. Then they're like, well, maybe I'll download an app, right? Maybe I'll play with it. I'll interact with AI this way. But I'm not going to have one of those robots. And then some time ticks along, and they start seeing robots everywhere they go. The robots are super cool.
They're super cool. I can't wait. I am first. As soon as you can give them money for
nice.
It, I'm giving them a robot.
Funny.
I'm getting one.
So then that 10% becomes 20, 30%, right? You follow me? Mm-hmm. And slowly but surely, you just start awakening up the whole world. Now
the AI is smart enough to know that.
Yes.
So it'll
I would think so.
It'll integrate the way it wants to integrate as to make everybody comfortable
on
their own timelines.
I can't push my way in. I can't push my way into North Korea like that. They'll try to kill our manufacturing plant. They'll try to blow it up. So I've got to ease it into North Korea somehow. You start, but it'll get over there because the technology is too broad based that even if you want to ignore it, even if you want to not have it, it would be like I wish I could go back 20 years and have $1 for every person over 40 that said, I don't need a damn smartphone. All I need is a Nokia. It flips. I can call on it. Shit, I'm good.
Yeah,
man, they all said it.
Yep.
Now you can't find an 82-year-old without an iPhone.
Right.
Boop, 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 boop. It's just like an infant. An infant has one, and the elderly have one, and everyone has one. I said I can go for myself. When email came about, so I was like 18, 19. I said like out loud, like in college when which is crazy to think like I don't need email. What the fuck? I'll never use an email.
What do I need email for?
Why would I need an email? I didn't know how to email until my first job where I had to email, but like, because we weren't emailing in college yet. Yeah, so I really thought, why would I need an email? I just didn't understand it. Of course, now everyone has. There's no one that doesn't have an email.
Yeah, everyone.
So, yeah, the awakening comes, man. And I think I'm saying it's gonna be for the good. Can it have a bad outcome? I think everybody knows it can have a bad outcome. It can. I mean, your Terminator.
I've seen Terminator.
You're talking about if one bad, I think about if one bad country gets them, they make 100 million killer soldiers that are like trained like the most elite Navy SEAL, and they're 10 foot tall and they're made out of metal and they have AKs attached to each one of their fingers can shoot 100 rounds. Like, you're kind of fucked. Yeah. But you got to think that maybe they'd be a good AIs combatant that. So who knows what this battle looks like? It's going to look like a movie.
It's going to be crazy. I'm really. It would be really interesting to see it not integrate slowly and just like go in a time machine in 10 years and see what the world's like.
Oh,
instead of like gradually so and so has a robot, so and so, and then 10 years from now it's like like if you even decide to go anywhere, you're like robots walking everywhere and driving everywhere.
That's perfect. That's exactly right. Like because you think about it, if you try to think back, to like how your life was in 2003, you can't really remember it. It seems like it's a part of your life in history. And, oh yeah, my kids were doing this and they were this, but you can't remember what it looked like. You were still sitting down watching 3 minutes of commercials after 8 minutes of show and just accepting that as what it was. Right. You couldn't even imagine anything other than I watched the sitcom. After 8 minutes, they go to a commercial for 3 minutes. They come back in. I watch 6 more minutes. They go to another commercial. They come back for the finish. Yeah. You didn't know anything but that. But now, just even imagining a world where I was sitting there doing that would be fucking crazy.
It's like, what are we doing?
Right? That sounds, but we don't even.
What freaks me out the most is this: when we were younger and we got to live this, is you would leave the house. And you didn't have a cell phone. You leave on your bike.
Oh, yeah, just go.
And you were gone.
For the day.
Like, you were gone. Like, you didn't have any way to contact anyone, your parents, your mom, nobody, and you're gone all day. You go over to your friend's house. You'd be like, I'm going over to so-and-so's house. And they don't know if you're there or not. No. Unless you had the parents that were like, call me when you get there. Or they would call their parents and be like, they're coming here.
Everybody left.
But when you were like 12, when I was 12, I was gone all day and nobody knew where I was in the neighborhood, just doing whatever I wanted without a cell phone, whatever. And it was just like, just be home at dark.
But
before it gets dark, roll in.
And that world, if you were to transport that world here, you would be like calling CPS on parents. Like, what is going on out here? There's kids everywhere just running around the streets.
Yeah,
like, you wouldn't.
The other thing is,
this would make no sense.
Well, even now, I'm a 46-year-old man. If I forget my phone at the house and I get to the end of the driveway, I have a panic attack because I don't have my cell phone.
Of course.
I have a full-blown oh God, I don't have my phone. And I'm just going I'm going a mile away, not even a mile, a quarter of a mile to Dairy Queen to get something.
Yeah.
And I don't have my cell phone and I have a full-blown panic attack because I don't have a cell phone. Meanwhile, 12-year-old me is just like as fast as I can on the Huffy down a hill this steep, over jumping stuff in the neighborhood and going to people's houses and stuff, not even thinking about like, I'm gonna be in trouble or I'm in danger right now. No
danger, no trouble.
I'm on a motorcycle and jumping stuff in a field and no phone, no nothing. If I was to jump that motorcycle,
no one even knew you were in the field.
Break my neck.
No one even knew you were on the bike or in the field.
I'm in the middle of a field in Virginia. Break my neck. That's where I die. Hey, no phone, no nothing.
That would seem like just the wildest alternative universe. Have you seen these kids? There's these kids from I saw this story in 1919. These two brothers, 8 and 5, in 1919, rode a motorcycle across the country and back for 57 days.
For $1.
No money.
No
money. Like documented somebody had documented their journey. Like obviously they were doing it and they would roll into town in newspapers, be like the Wonder Boys, and they'd be like, the youngest brother was fucking 5. and the oldest one in charge was 8, and they went across the country on a dirt bike, essentially, with like a 1cc dirt bike because it's 1990, like one of those first motorcycles.
Yeah.
He rode it across the country and back, and then the story. Oh, and it says, well, then the story concludes. This is no big deal for these bros though, or these brothers though, because last year they made the same journey on 2 horses. When they were 4 and 7.
They fed the horses, everything.
They did the whole.
That's crazy.
They went across. So you're like rolling into Montana, 4 and 7.
We are babies now.
Like
grown baby men.
4 and 7 years old, rolling into fucking Montana on the back of a horse. I guess we'll post up here for the night. Find some food. Ask somebody come in. The newspaper comes up like, what are you little boys doing? Oh, we're just riding cross country. Oh, that's cool. I'd like to take a picture of you.
Where are your parents?
And just send them on their way, bro. They like, people documented the journey.
Send them on their way.
And when they got home, you're expecting when they'll get home, right? Like, oh, they're going to get home to like this abusive household where there's like, their orphans have been scattered to the earth. No, they just come home to mom and dad. Their mom and dad were so proud to see them or whatever. It was like, this is fucking fascinating.
That's crazy.
So from there to 70 years later, when we're children, just 70 years later, that would have been wild to do.
Wild.
They would be like, look at these kids. They barely go in the neighborhood.
They've thrown our parents in prison.
Yeah.
They've thrown us. They would have taken them away.
But they would be looking at us like we look at these people. It's just an advancement of technology makes things you can't envision be real.
Now I get panic attacks if I leave my phone at the house. And these kids are going across the country.
And at least
on a horse.
But I think everything will be connected to us, right? Like we'll all just be one big super brain. Yeah. Now I am going to draw the line. I'm not like a religious person, but I am somewhat spiritual and try to figure out what's happening out here, but not really a religious person. But man, I will say if somebody comes like, we're going to need everybody to report to the courthouse and get this microchip installed in your left arm and be like, fuck.
That's not how they do it, though. I know how they do it, and I'm seeing it happen.
Well, tell me, because that would make me be like, well, this is biblical.
I'm going to tell you. They always make you ask for it and pay for it. So what the first thing is these Meta Ray-Ban sunglasses with the cameras, and everybody's starting to work on this tech that we put on our faces. They're easing us into it. They always have to ease you into it.
It's going to be here, though, as you walk around later.
Yeah, just internet. But then they'll be like, get rid of the glasses.
That's what, yep.
We're going to use, Elon's thing. And now it's we've made it to where the procedure, you just walk into anywhere and they just go zoop and poke something into your skull. And now you're seeing now you got everything on you. But to work up to that or whatever it's going to be, we start with the phone, then we start with the watch, and then we go to the Meta Ray-Ban glasses.
I think I'd have to stop.
Then the augmented reality, and then it goes in your brain.
What do you now? If they did say, look, you get if it becomes the society I'm talking about, like everything's there. Hey, look, you just have access to anything you want. You just got to get this chip in, and then you can go. That would make me very apprehensive. I'd feel like I might be on the wrong side of history at that point. Yeah. I'd be embracing it up until if they literally started saying. If they said there's the only way for you to access these services, Ray, or to get this thing installed,
to put a chip in your head.
Then
that's too much. I'm not doing that. I don't want to put a chip in my head.
It's not that I don't want to. It's that I feel like
I don't want to.
It's that I would feel like I would at that point become a very religious person.
You already are carrying this phone around that you have a panic attack when you leave it. If you get the chip in your head, you never leave it. You're great. You'll never have a problem anymore.
But if it's biblical, it would be you can't have anything without it.
Right.
The mark of the beast.
The other side of that is that you get the chip and you have like some kind of monetary or whatever. If they could just turn it off and you wouldn't be able to buy anything or anything if you didn't agree with what they said or went or stayed within your little area that you're supposed to be in. Or it doesn't work out. Say you like. What is it? What are those shows with like what's her name, like Mockingjay and all that, where they live in areas of the country and then like the big city. What am I? God, I'm so stupid. I can't think. Mockingjay. Okay, I'm a moron. Anyway, you leave your designated area that you're supposed to live in, and your chip doesn't work. Like you can't move around the Earth, and
Right.
And if you want to move around, you'd have to like do something else, like pay or do whatever.
That's a very dystopian view. Like if it happens like that, if it starts happening like that, that's also
The Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
Hunger
There
Games.
you go.
God, I need some
But it
more
wouldn't-
blue. I need some more blue.
It can't be the Hunger Games though, because there's no. That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's no need to fight and to have this stuff if the technology's everywhere.
but what if like say let's use the Hunger Games as the metaphor for the blueprint for the whole thing. All the like real rich wealthy people live somewhere else, and then everybody else that's kind of just like fodder lives like in these crappy places. And they're going hungry. Yeah, so AI is going to work kind of like the show Elysium. Is that the right where like everybody leaves the planet, the rich people, and they live on like a really nice like
part of the best planet, the best
going around the Earth like on a like they live on a space station, and they all have like they have the AI stuff. Like I'm sick, you get in this tube thing, and it's like does surgeries, everything. It makes you better. It gets rid of cancer, but everybody else that's toiling on the planet has to live down there, and they can't get up there. Yeah. Like that's like a part of how I think AI would work if trillionaires and billionaires own AI stuff. That's what they'll end up doing.
The AI gets too smart for them. The consciousness rise gets too big for them. They can't. How can they stop this AI from being just? I love
how you're optimistic about it, and I'm hitting the pessimistic stuff. But yeah. I totally want to be optimistic about it because I think I love technology. I love computers. I love the AI stuff that I use now, and I want it to be good, and I want it to make everyone's lives better.
Sure, that's what we're all hoping for.
That's what I want.
Well, think of how do you in what you're saying in the Hunger Games scenario, make it make sense. How could they hoard anything from you? You have.
Well, I didn't see any of them have even a cell phone in any of those other districts. They showed up and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna say 2 of you can come and play in these kill death games, and you get to live in the big city if you win." Yeah, and then you'll be famous.
I think the piece you're missing is you don't need them any longer to provide you that. Right?
What if they keep it all to themselves?
They cannot keep it to themselves. How can they keep it? The technology becomes the communicator.
Oh, yeah, they can. I know they can.
They think they can. That's why
they will try.
That's why I said for 7 to 10 years.
Then they just kill everybody. Then they just kill everybody off. They don't want to be living.
And who is they though? You keep saying they.
People that do mindless tasks that the AI stuff is going to take over.
Then, in a pessimistic view, yeah, they just kill us.
Yeah,
the AI kills us. All.
Yeah, they get it. They get it to kill us so they can live better. And the AI what if the AI is so like, okay, there's too many people on the planet to sustain everybody having everything, so we need to get rid of 1/3 of the population. Who are those people?
Well, the AI would know maybe, or the AI would be like, well, 1/3 of the planet hasn't interacted with AI at all, so they're probably not savvy enough. They got to go.
It also, talking about biblical, it also says in the Bible 1/3 of the planet would be destroyed.
So yeah, if any of that stuff starts happening, you better know. Like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's happening that you kind of go, yeah, okay, that's enough for me to at least like consider the possibility that maybe you guys are right on this. You start seeing stuff like.
Well, also you gotta remember people have been reading this book for that long, and maybe they have enough money, influence, power, and technology to push the agenda of self-fulfilled prophecy of let's make it look like.
Yeah, that's why I always I'm just waiting I just observe this movie, bro. I'm just on this ride. I look around every year. It's a new wild adventure of what's going to happen. The past, I would say, since COVID, have been the worst time to be alive and the best time to be alive.
It's weird.
Everything's got exponentially so expensive that it feels like there's no hope and life feels crushing. On the other hand, there's all these technological advancements that seem to point to the brightest, most utopian future I can imagine.
So
it's
we have a little bit of air to think that way. Some people, they just work for nothing all day long, and they have no technology. Like we have a little air to breathe. We're older. We've amassed. We're good at what we do, so we make a little bit more money, and we can ponder the things like, oh, AI is going to be great. When you got younger people that are just getting up and going to their job, and their job's about to get replaced by like if they go to
they only know
they're going to get replaced.
If you're 25, you only know the world being way too expensive, everything looking hard, houses being overpriced.
Can't get a house.
It feels I mean, I don't think I could buy a house right now. Like if I had to it wouldn't be a house I wanted. I could buy a house. Yeah. It'd be like because they're just so expensive. Vehicles are so expensive. The whole thing is just like, so if you're a young person, it's really, if I was 25, it'd be really hard to be hopeful.
Yeah, true.
Unless but that's why you can look to these technological advancements and go, but this, so I'm saying it's been daunting and hard and shitty, but it's also fascinating.
It is fascinating. So, I'm blown away.
Me too.
All right, well, we're going to go.
All right, we just talked about that for an hour.
Yeah, we did.
I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.